Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience. I made a shirt, you guys, with the QR code. So, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm joined by someone who embodies the word powerhouse, Miss Kimberly D. Worthy. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
She is a powerhouse whose career bridges entertainment, education, and empowerment. You may have seen her on TMZ. Yes, I said TMZ. On reality TV, or as the face of the children's series Poetry and Life, where she uses poetry to help young minds discover confidence and creativity. She also is the author of Poetry is Not Just Rhyming. But Kimberly is not just a media personality. She's an author, as I said, an educator, a speaker, and a real estate entrepreneur who turned her own journey of transformation into Fit to Sell, where she shows her lifestyle and how it meets real estate brand, inspiring others to get both their homes and their lives in shape. From television screens to the classroom to closing tables, Kimberly continues to redefine what it means to be worthy of success. I like that, worthy.
Love it. Love it.
Today, we're diving into her journey, the highs, the lows, the hurdles, the healing, and the hope that has shaped her story. Kimberly, welcome to Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored. I love that introduction. My gosh.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
impressed with myself and your introduction.
You're welcome. I'm about
Thank
to let me
you.
throw your flowers, huh? Let me throw your flowers.
I'm receiving them. I'm receiving them. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and start off, of course, with our discussion in regards to what interests you in coming on Surviving and Thriving the Black Experience.
Well, it's a very interesting story. I was like literally scrolling social media
Mhm.
and I came across your podcast from a friend of mine and I saw an episode and I was impressed. I was impressed with your work. It was so authentic and you gave the guests their opportunity to share their story. And I was like, you know what? I don't know this young lady, but I want to learn more. So I reached out to your guests and I just asked questions about you. And I was like, tell me about your experience on that show because I've done so many different interviews, national televisions, television shows, and sometimes you don't have the opportunity to tell your story. Sometimes it's scripted, sometimes it's choreographed, and you can only say so much before it's cut.
Right.
Let me take that part off or reword this. We don't
Mhm.
want to offend our viewers. And I got a chance to talk to you and learn the backstory of your why behind your podcast. And it just made me want to be on your show. Like, you're a Black woman, I'm a Black woman. We kind of speak the same language. We know the
Absolutely.
nuances about being Black women in the entertainment industry or just being entrepreneurs, like, just because we know the same Black experience. And I
Mhm.
wanted to like talk to your viewers and yourself, and all that combined made me want to be a guest on your show.
Well, I appreciate that so much. I never would have imagined that it would, in fact, because you're in a complete different state. So, I
Yeah.
mean, just being able, I'm truly humbled, and I thank you so much in regards to my actual channel reaching where it needs to reach. Understanding that it's understanding my backstory because we did have a conversation offline in regards to who I am and what I do, and I appreciate you just holding that, respecting that, and choosing to come on as well to tell your actual story because that is the purpose of this channel. So I appreciate that fully.
Yeah.
Um, Let me know what inspired you to step into the world of media and storytelling.
Great question. Like, I've always been a storyteller. Like, I can remember being 5 years old, like in my mom's house. We used to have like a stove back in the 90s, and it had like a little mirror on the side. And I don't know if you remember this show called Reading Rainbow.
I
And
do.
you do?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Okay. And LeVar Burton, he used to
Uh-huh.
talk to the camera and he used to say, boys and girls, we're going to read this book. So he was like my hero back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to talk to the stove, like the little mirror on the side.
Uh-huh.
And I used to say, boys and girls, we're going to be back. This is the story we're going to do. And my mom used to look at me like, what are you doing? And I used to say, Mama, when I grow up, I'm going to be just like that guy. I'm going to talk to the boys and girls. So I was a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember doing that. And as I became older and older,
Mm-hmm.
I learned what that career was. It was a television personality, but I didn't know how to articulate that.
Right.
So over the years, I got into acting and theater work, but that was the catalyst of me becoming a storyteller, reading Rainbow. So
Oh,
that's how I
wow.
fell in love with books and fell in love with storytelling from that show.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm going to make you fangirl real quick. So I actually was able, I didn't get, so let me not make it too big. I did not get to meet him in person,
What?
but I got to, but I did get to see him. I was about row five. So I was close enough. At
Okay.
NACY in Anaheim, California. He was there for the NACY conference for teachers. And
Oh
he did
my.
his story. I think it was, oh my gosh. I think it was called What Did the Rhino Say to the Storm? Something to that extent. Don't worry, I'm gonna put that in the video. But I
Okay.
actually sat there and fangirl while he read us the story. I was like, he's reading us a story.
I would have lost it. I would, girl. Oh
You
my
understand?
goodness.
We understand. We understand.
Yes.
I was
Oh,
so
girl.
excited. So I can look, I completely understand the just the happiness and the connection that you had with him because he is an amazing storyteller. He is
Yes.
absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a
And
little bit about how being a Black woman has shaped the lens through which you tell your stories and do your business.
you know what? Because many people don't understand our stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because me being a Black woman, especially like I live in Atlanta. I didn't tell
Mm-hmm.
your guests that I live in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
but many of the TV shows that I work on are not filmed in Atlanta, like TMZ or the Food Network. I'm in New York,
Mm-hmm.
okay? In New York, when you're on these TV shows, the people who are doing your makeup, the people who are doing your hair, they don't look like you. Nine
Mm-hmm.
out of 10, they don't. So I would definitely suggest learn how to do as much as you can for yourself because you will have people who don't understand the products and things like that. So you want to be able to tell your own story to know who you are because these people don't know who you are. Okay, so being a Black woman means being independent,
Okay.
being able to speak up for yourself because a lot of times you will feel isolated. You will be the only person that look like you in the room, and many people will try to tell you what you're supposed to be or speak around you. Many times you will be the only representative of Black that these people have seen for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They will, they will, I'm trying to say this in a way in a cultural sensitive way,
Yes.
if that makes
In an
sense.
inclusive way. I understand.
Yeah, in a more inclusive way.
Mm-hmm.
I have sat in tables and been in rooms and been the only person that looks like me in the room where
Mm-hmm.
everyone else are talking about Black people as if I'm not a Black person there. And I have had to be the voice to speak up and say, no, what you're speaking of is a stereotype of what you've heard of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to be okay with being that voice and showing that just because you've seen one negative stereotype of a Black person, that does not represent all Black people. Just like you may have seen one rich white person, that
Yep.
does not mean every white person is rich. You may have seen
Absolutely.
one smart Asian person, that does not mean every Asian person is smart. And you have to be okay with speaking up for yourself. So, being a Black person in entertainment, you have to be able to be independent and be able to speak up for yourself.
Absolutely. I think that's very true to power of what you're saying in regards to understanding how you have to pretty much be able to take care of yourself to a certain extent and not depend on someone else to be able to do that. I did actually wonder about that, like when you go into different spaces and you're at different tables and stuff, and like as a person who sees people on TV, of course, and things as such, you always think, oh my gosh, like their makeup is so beautiful, or this is another. And you always assume that someone has done that. In many cases, as you're saying, like, it's like, no, this person had to learn probably these skills themselves to be able to
Yes,
do that, to make sure that they're not looking too powdered or looking too light in their skin not matching and
yes.
things such, or their hair not just being straight every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um I definitely think that's I appreciate you telling that aspect, because I think a lot of people may have in fact just assumed, of course, that they don't, or maybe not have known that.
Mm-mm.
Let's see, so growing up, did you see examples of Black women thriving in spaces where you now conquered it?
Well, I'm gonna speak on it from a television perspective.
Okay.
Like growing up on TV, especially like in the early 90s,
Mm-hmm.
you will have like either one or two things you would see. Up until Claire Huxtable, I'll put it like this. You will see a black woman that's very pretty, but she was dumb.
Okay.
Or you see a black woman that was very smart, but they made her character not that pretty. I'm gonna go to the show Clueless and Stacey
Okay.
Dash.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey Dash is very pretty, but she
Mm-hmm.
was clueless.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or you'll have a black woman, she'll be very smart, but then they'll put her on some glasses and pigtails, and she's ugly. She's an ugly character.
Mm-hmm.
Up until you had a Claire Huxtable
Mm-hmm.
that embodied beauty and smarts
And brains. Yep.
and brains, yes. Or up until you had Living Single, when you had
Mm-hmm.
Queen Latifah, who was
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. She was smart. She was in the media. You had Maxine Shaw, who
Mm-hmm.
was beautiful. She was a lawyer. Up until like the mid 90s, early 2000s, then you start seeing modern women like we have today. But before then, no, I did not see that. I saw you had to choose one or the other. In my everyday life, I had my mom, who's always been the pillar of my family, and she always embodied that beauty and smarts. You can do anything, don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. But in my community, no, I did not see that. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I did not have her as my pivotal person, and those little television characters that I just mentioned, no. So it's very important for us to have representation. It's
Mm-hmm.
very important for us to have mentors. Like we have the Boy Scouts. I am a big proponent for Girl Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
The I think it's called the HH Club or some type of club they used to have back in the 4-H Club.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big proponent for those type clubs and things like that, because if we do not see the type of representation for young females, what else are they gonna have to like aspire to be if you don't have it in your immediate family or
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have it on television? Because kids are sponges and
Absolutely.
they absorb what they see or what they are around. So,
Mm-hmm. And that's very true. That's very true in regards to like what's happening now in our generation, as we're seeing now. I'm not going to say, I can't speak 100 percentile, but we are seeing more or less children not, young ladies, let's do that, not behaving in the way that we used to be raised.
mhm,
Because if it wasn't clearly just at home, there would be a representation on TV, at least, because I'm a 90s baby. So I was
mhm,
in the, what is it, half and half, girlfriends. I mean, there's quite a few other TV shows, but Living Single as well, too. Living
mhm,
Single was more or less showing a representation of Black beauty in different skin tones and
mhm,
smarts in
mhm.
different areas. I mean, it was absolutely amazing seeing girlfriends, different women, in fact, aspiring. Yes, there were some relationship issues,
Yeah,
but aspiring women in regards to having different businesses. I mean, Maya was becoming an author, remember?
she was.
She was
Yeah.
going above and
Hmm.
beyond to do what she had to do to believe in herself. And so
Uh-huh.
I think that that's kind of what's lost
It
now.
is.
I'm not really
It
seeing
is.
that as much.
Mm-mm.
And if it is, it's perpetuating a different, I feel, a destructive lifestyle to a certain extent.
It
So
is.
it's very much it's definitely changed. Um
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you've appeared on major platforms like TMZ, at Worst Cooks in America. What did these experiences teach you about representation and visibility for Black women in media? And how do you stay grounded and humbled?
It taught me that representation, again, it matters and you can do it. Okay. Never
Mhm.
tell yourself that you cannot do it. And I also have another book. I know we talked about the poetry books. I have a book called How to Develop Your You. And the reason this is important because we spoke about me being on Worst Cooks in America. You hear the word worst, and you're like, oh, that's something negative. No, 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 no. All right, let's talk about this for a second. Okay, let me kind of divest a little bit.
Mhm.
How to Develop Your You talks about how to take what we perceive as a flaw and remix that flaw and to propel it to let that be your stepping stone to the next version of yourself.
Mhm.
I took something that people consider as a flaw. I can't cook. I never, I can't. And I'm from the South, that's supposed to be like, oh, you're from
That's
the South. You
taboo.
can't. I know it's very taboo. I'm from Georgia. Okay. I'm very Southern. You hear my accent. I'm very Southern.
Yes.
And I'm like one of the last Southern women in my family who cannot cook. But that landed me on national television. It landed me endorsement deals. I did all this type of stuff, commercials, because I can't cook. So
Mhm.
the book is about taking what people call a flaw and making that your you. Okay.
Mhm.
So for us being Black women, people talked about our hair.
Mhm.
Someone like I think Cantu products. What are some other Black products we have? Cantu,
Cantu, as
Fenty.
what is it? Tejan. I think it's Thank God It's Natural. Carol's Daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So these are things that people consider flaws, our hair.
Mhm.
Black women took that. Okay, you think my hair is a flaw? Let me take this, let me package this up, and we're going to make this a brand and we're going to sell this to other Black women and show you our flaw is going to be our beauty, and this is how we're going to create wealth. This
Mhm.
is what I'm talking about. Everything that people tell you that is bad about you, nothing is bad about you. You're perfect just like you are. So the same way people said me being a bad cook is worse or whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
I made that my selling point. And us as Black women, I want you to show up and whatever someone says about you, you're gonna flip it around. You're gonna make that your you, and you're gonna take it and you're gonna monetize it. So that's what my book is all about. Monetizing the things about you that people say are bad. I don't care what it is. If
Mhm.
people say, oh, you're boring, you're just a librarian, I don't care. It's other people that are boring librarians. You create a boring librarian brand and you figure out a way to monetize that and
Mhm.
you make a profit. Everything is profitable. So I want
Mhm.
Black women to think about that. Everything is profitable. With TMZ, back in school, oh, you talk too much. You do this. People pay to hear me talk now.
People pay.
You
Look,
see what
I
I'm
got to know
saying?
you here because
Okay.
your
Yes. I didn't reach out to TMZ. They reached out to me. You
Mhm.
see? So
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. For Black women, people, oh, Black women, she's loud, she's ghetto. Okay. Well, people are paying for that.
Mhm.
So that's what I want Black women to take from that.
Absolutely.
Nothing about you is bad. Everything about you is good. People tend to get your skin complexion. People get plastic surgery to get your body type. So I
Mhm.
want Black women, if you don't get anything from the conversation I'm telling you today, everything that you have naturally from God is marketable. Figure out a way to do it, package it, and sell it. That's what I want you to do.
I'm about to say I'm gonna make sure I in fact type that in here
Yes.
as well. I'm about to say just know they will in fact see this in bold. So
Yes.
it was gonna be like a step one, step two, step three
Yes.
that is gonna be in here. So you were talking about um, the concept of like the different types of hair and like marketability, not different types of hair, I'm sorry, the different products and stuff like that, and then just marketability of anything. Like as a Black woman, like we as Black women are marketable, from our features to our hair to our voices to our words that we say and things
Mm-hmm.
of such. And I was thinking of like Baskin Lather, right? That's more
Yes.
recent in regards to her sister. I think you were saying she had, I think it was a ringworm, I think, in her hair,
Mm-hmm.
and all of her hair coming out, and her having to come up with a solution. And who ain't heard of Baskin Lather now?
Exactly. It's
So
all over
something,
Instagram.
yeah. So it's like that thing. So that's something, right? That was negative, right? Like painful,
Mm-hmm.
scary,
Mm-hmm.
all those things could be seen as a flaw,
Exactly.
ended up turning into this like multi-million-dollar brand right now that's helping several women,
Mm-hmm.
regrow edges, regrow alopecia, helping them to, in fact, just grow that confidence all over again. I know for a fact too, as I've been expanding just my brand with surviving and thriving the Black experience, my boyfriend, my significant other, had actually said something very close to what you said about that. Anything, like when you put content out, when you put it out, it's new.
Yes.
No matter when you put it out, I don't care. He's like, I don't care if it's like from 3-4 weeks ago or a year ago or something. Once it's posted, it's new and it goes around in the ethers. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like in alignment with what you're saying of like just these things that kind of hold us as Black women and as people as a whole back of
Mm-hmm.
the nervousness, the, oh, who gonna like that? A million people gonna like it.
Exactly.
And they not
Yes.
gonna like it until they know your story and things
Mm-hmm.
as such. So I definitely like resonate and understand that truly, truly.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me about a time in your career and or moment that made you the most proud. I know there's probably 1,000, but you can give me a few as a matter of fact of like what makes you
Okay.
most proud about yourself and your work that you've done.
Let me think. It's gonna have to be when I produced my own children's television show called Poetry and Life. So this concept was birthed from my books, plural.
Mm-hmm.
Poetry is not just rhyming. So this is actually like a play of my life. So I actually attended an after school program as a child.
Okay.
And so the show is based at an after school program.
Oh wow.
And these kids are learning poetry. So the first episode, this little girl, she brought a friend to her after school program who was dealing with bullying.
Mm-hmm.
I was a child that dealt with bullying,
Mm-hmm.
and I used poetry as a catalyst to help me get through it. So in the show, I played the after school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
When in my real life, of course, I wasn't the teacher, but I had a teacher that helped me use poetry to get through it. So it was like a full circle moment for
Mm-hmm.
me to actually see, wow, what I used to help me get through it, I am now creating a content that other kids can use to get through it as well. So that was it's so surreal, to see how life happens. Like maybe the only reason I went through bullying as a child was for me to learn how to write poetry, to use that to then create a poetry book from the poetry. Because I didn't tell you this. The poetry that I use as a child that I wrote down are the same poems that I recreated into my poetry book, Poetry's Not Just Rhyming, that I then used to create Poetry and Life TV show. But it all started from me being bullied as a child.
That's
Whole
amazing.
full circle moment.
Full circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's like
That's
the
that's
most
insp-
powerful thing.
that's inspiring. That's very powerful for those. I also, when I was younger, was bullied because, as you can see, I eat quite a few chips.
It's okay. I love my chips too, girl. I love them
Right,
too.
I'm a chipper. I'm not really a candy person. I'm a chip person. But I definitely was.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely bullied for two. So I was bullied because I used to be a crybaby for one, and then I was bullied in regards to size as well too. And
Mm-hmm.
full circle, as you said, my compassion that I had back then for people is the same compassion I showed children as I work within the early childhood field and in school, and the same compassion that I use now today to be able to teach and reach people now. So I understand completely that full circle aspect that unfortunately does start from pain. You gotta excuse my little fur baby barking. but but that actually I oh my God, that's just a monumental moment of that full circle.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember I had received some of your content and watched some of your content as well too. And I remember you was that, so I want to make sure I say it correctly. Is that a channel, The List, or was that a show, The List?
Oh, that's actually a TV show. That's a national
Okay.
TV show
Okay.
that comes on. I want to say it comes on WXIA, which is like our
Mhm.
version of Channel 11. So I'm not sure
Okay.
of your Channel 11 where you are.
Mhm.
But so I am like a celebrity commentator that comes on and does like the educational components when they check
Yes.
in. Well, let's talk to our celebrity educator, Kimberly D, and I
Mhm.
give parents like different tips, like this is what you can do to set up your children's home classroom, or if your child is feeling like depressed, like this is what you can do to help out with that. So I go
Mhm.
on different TV shows from time to time to give like different tips and hints and things like that. And
Mhm.
again, that derived from my other career because like what they say, Jamaicans have a lot of different careers. I'm not even Jamaican, but like I have like so many different careers. But for my other career as an educator, but yes, I come on different TV shows and kind of give tips and tricks or different things you can do for children with education.
That's absolutely amazing. I remember the one that I specifically watched was the one that you were giving tips and tricks in regards to homeschooling. And you
Yes.
were explaining to them to like this is what you need to do to have like your actual home to be inclusive, put posters up, put things like you can
Mm-hmm.
make this fully immersive. If they like, I think you the example you given was like Frozen. It's like if they like
Yeah.
Frozen, put Frozen up on the wall. And it was like I remember this because I lived I'm like I literally lived this with parents when I was a child care director. Oh my God, Harbor. I literally lived this when I was a child care provider, and literally explaining to parents, they're like, "Oh no, like I gotta do this with them. They like I don't know what to do. Like they're bored. They're this." And I actually gave very good examples, like you did as well too.
Oh
Like
my
make it
gosh.
fun. Like
Yeah.
put some stuff, put some stickers up. Like this is their space, their time. And that
Mm-hmm.
big thing that I noticed that you said too was light. Put them
Oh
in
my
front
God.
of a
Yes.
window. Don't nobody just want to
Yes.
sit in an isolated square box. Like, this is not
Yes.
jail.
I know that's solitary confinement. What are you doing?
Right. Like, come on, give them some space and opportunity for that bright light, that
Yes.
fresh air. Like, give them that resemblance of hope to get out.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what kids
Yeah,
want.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So I know the road to success often comes with challenges, right? So what barriers have you faced as a Black woman, both in media and also in real estate, as we'll be diving in a little more in depth a little later?
Okay. Oh, man. Oh, being taken seriously. Like people doubt my competence on so many different levels all the time. Because as you see, I come across as very regular.
Yeah,
Like
you're very down to earth.
very down to earth. So
Mm-hmm.
people take that as like, oh, she's not competent. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't have the credentials. I get that all the time because you expect for me to be very stuffed shirt and all. No, how I am with you, this is how I am. I don't have to dress in a certain way or behave in a certain way to know my stuff. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And I hate that. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Okay. I know a lot of very influential people. I'm very influential, but I know a lot of very influential people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was invited to a dinner party, very high-end, fancy dinner party. I didn't know the host personally, is a friend of a friend. But the friend who invited me had told the host some different things about me. But the host had never seen me before. So the host had a preconceived notion of what I would look like. And this is not what they thought I would look like.
Right.
So when I came into the host's home, the host was not of our race.
Yes.
It was a man. And so when he looked at me, he's like, like very underwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
response, like, like this is not what I was expecting when you built this person up. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting at the dinner table, and another thing about me, I don't like to have to perform. Like I don't like to have to be the clown to have to tell you everything that I've done. I'm not that type of person. I can literally sit in the room and be very small. I don't like to have to feel like I have to take up space to be
Mhm.
accepted. And
Absolutely.
at that particular dinner party, I felt like he wanted me to perform, to show off what I've done. I just really wanted just to be a guest. I wanted to just sit there and eat, and that's it. But he kept asking me questions. So I hear that you've done this. I hear that you've done that. And at this point in time, he's not asking anybody else these same questions. He's just asking me. So I feel like I'm being called out. Now I'm really getting offended. Because, like, my friend was the same nationality I am,
Mhm.
but maybe, let me see. At that party, me and my friend was African American. I want to say, don't quote me, maybe one or two other people were, and everybody else was other nationalities. So we were the minority of the group, but I was the only outsider. Everyone else knew each other.
Mhm.
But I'm getting offended now because you're not questioning everybody else. So yeah, I heard you did this. I heard you did that. Very accusatory, like I'm lying about some things.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yeah, just kind of nonchalant. So the host of the party excused himself from the table, and his wife is sitting there like, honey, let's just eat. Like, stop asking Kimberly all these questions.
Right.
Let's just eat. So we're all eating. He excused himself. He goes to the back. He's gone for like 10 minutes. At this point in time, we're having a good time now.
Mhm.
Did you know this man came back out and he's like, oh, Kimberly, yeah. So you were telling the truth about what you said. I went back and I Googled everything that you said. Girl, do you know this man Googled everything that I said like I was lying?
So what?
When I tell you I was so embarrassed and so offended,
Mhm.
see, I have to deal with stuff like this.
Yes.
And he was a very powerful man in the industry. But if I was a man and if I was a Caucasian man, he wouldn't have done that.
Absolutely not. It's as if when you came in, you weren't enough just being who you
Exactly.
were. You have to be able to, what we call it, juke and jive,
Exactly.
and it's not enough just for you to be you. And it's
Yes.
that is such a reoccurring feeling. As you were saying, I'm like, oh, I've been in a space like that so many times in my life where just coming in as Candace Renee is just not enough. And then even in other experiences, you feel like you have to big up yourself in a situation because people are questioning every single thing that you do. Now, I've never had
Hmm.
it where somebody decided here and took the time to Google, but Lord Jesus,
Yes.
what in the
Girl.
world?
His wife face turned so red. She was like
As
a
it
tomato.
should.
She was so embarrassed. Kimberly, I am so sorry. I said, no, it's okay. Girl, my heart dropped. I didn't know what to do. My friend, he was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's okay.
Because how do you enjoy the rest of your evening? Like that's not normal
Mm-mm,
behavior. And
it's
that
not.
person knows better. Like I refuse to give grace to that person. Like you know better. You knew what you were trying to do. You
Yes.
knew exactly what the intention of the feeling you were trying to gather
Mm-hmm.
from me. And
Mm-hmm.
also it's called gaslighting.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
absolutely knew that lighter was in full display
Oh,
at that
girl.
time.
Oh
And I'm
my
so happy
God.
you handled yourself elegantly as you
I
did.
tried. Yeah. I was so quiet for the end of the night. It felt like 20 years had went by. That night could not have ended any faster. I was just like, oh my God. Yes. So that was the most extreme case. I've had like different cases like since then, but nothing as extreme as that.
Mhm.
But yeah, just people doubted my competency and just trying me in different like cases like that. And I hate that. I hate that as a black woman, we have to feel like we have to perform.
Mhm.
And I call this hue privilege. Like I have a lot of like white friends, and we had a conversation before, and I tell them all the time, you have what I call hue privilege. And I'm like, what is hue privilege? I don't like white privilege. I say hue privilege. And they're like, what is hue privilege? I wasn't born rich. I say it has nothing to do with money, baby. It has
Mhm.
nothing to do with money. And I explain it to them. I travel the world. Like I've been to Iceland, China, Dubai, all over the world. I travel, some vacation, some just business, but I travel.
Mhm.
And I said, when you travel, do you ever think about would you be accepted when you go places? No. Why would I think about that? It's okay. When you travel places, do you ever worry about your safety? No. I mean, why would I worry about that? That's called hue privilege.
Mhm.
Because when I travel, it's not even about the money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about would I be safe because of the color of my skin?
Mm-hmm.
Will I be safe just being a woman? Like these are things that we as African American women or just African Americans in general, we have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about that because you have the right hue. Your
Mm-hmm.
hue is accepted nationwide, worldwide, because you have
Mm-hmm.
hue privilege. So it
Absolutely.
doesn't even matter. You can have $1 in your bank account and I can have 1 million in mine, but your hue will make you more accepted than me. That's hue
Mm-hmm.
privilege. And I'm not mad at you because you have no control over the hue of your skin, but I need you to understand that you have that privilege. I need you
Absolutely.
to accept that. So,
No, that
yeah.
absolutely no. First of all, I love you. Do you mind if I use that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Go
will
ahead.
definitely because it definitely does. It doesn't seem as poignant, right? As when someone says white privilege, it doesn't seem as offensive, but it's also just being very, very. I consider it a very neutral term that everyone understands hues of a rainbow.
Yes.
Everybody
Mm-hmm.
understands hues of a color,
Yes.
and I think that understanding it from that level, and I think it maybe it softens the blow,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit, makes maybe someone a little bit more understanding. Because I think the conversation would start with, "Well, what do you mean by I have hue privilege?" It'll warrant a question. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so. I will be using that. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell me, when rejection or pushback comes your way, because you kind of mentioned this a little bit,
Uh-huh.
what keeps you from giving up? Like, what keeps you from throwing in the towel? What keeps you from saying, my ancestors went through this. I'm not about to go through this. What just keeps you and grounds you just as a whole?
My faith in God. God has brought me too far to turn back now. It's a song. I think was it Mary who made that song? God, I've come too far for God to turn me back. I want to say Mary, some gospel group. But it's a song
Mm-hmm.
that I hum from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But the gist of it, God would not put me in a situation to leave me.
Absolutely.
And my thing is this: we all will face regrets in life, no matter what the decision. You will have face regrets. I would rather face the regrets of doing something and maybe it not turn out how I wanted to turn out versus not doing
Mm-hmm.
anything at all.
Absolutely.
So if I'm gonna fail, let me fail trying than just to fail and not doing anything. Because time gonna pass regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna pass if I sit here on the sofa, or it's gonna pass if I try and nothing even comes of it. So which time do you want to do? Time to do nothing or time to try? So at least let me try.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not gonna give anybody the satisfaction of thinking they're gonna stop my progress. I might pause, I might cry, I might reflect, I might pivot my approach, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to break. I might bend, but I'm going to propel myself forward that much more faster. So that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing about me. You're not going to break me.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. Absolutely not.
I'm about to say I need specifically our Black women listeners to hear that it is
Hmm.
okay to go through the motions. It is
Yes.
okay to go through the feelings.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
okay to cry, scream.
Oh,
I
yes.
prefer the pillow scream. to
Yeah.
be
Do what you
to be
gotta do.
honest,
Look, honey,
do what
I
you
got pillows right here. Okay, two of them, matter of
do what
fact.
you do what you need to do to get those
Yes.
feelings out, because those feelings are real, those feelings are valid, and
Yeah.
you are human. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
are not machines. I don't care how everybody, or I don't care how, I'm not gonna say everybody, I don't care how people attempt to create our imagery in society that we
Mm-hmm.
are less than, and or that
Mm-mm.
we don't have feelings or
Yeah.
emotions or feelings. Yes, we do, and
Yeah.
yes, you do,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it is okay. So I just really appreciate you just saying that like keeping yourself grounded comes from being able to acknowledge those feelings of being overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
of feeling those feelings of, oh, I messed up. It didn't
Yeah.
it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted to. but you also, like you just said, in regards to God's grace and also understanding just what God wants you to do, you still did it.
Of course.
You
Yeah.
did what he told you to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it always again comes full circle. So I think I want our listeners to, in fact, and men too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
man, and men too.
Yes.
That like we want you to know that full circle things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that you talked about your mommy. I say mommy. So I know you talked about your mommy and how amazing and wonderful, and how she has, in fact, been a great inspiration in regards to keep you going, as well. But did you have another mentor and or guiding figure who helped you to navigate through tough spaces and or just navigate you through this journey you've been going on?
Yes. I have been blessed like along my journey, not to just have like one mentor,
Mhm.
but specific people in different phases in my life. Like when I was going through bullying in like middle school, well, I had some bullying in elementary school, but really middle school was like, I would say like some really rough times for me. But that's when
Mhm.
I picked up the love of poetry. I had a
Mhm.
teacher and she introduced me to poetry. So I
Mhm.
would definitely have to credit her during that space. At the middle school, I had an owner of a museum that actually helped me to transfer that poetry book from middle school into poetry is not just rhyming. So then I have to credit him. So in different parts of my life, God has placed specific people to be a catalyst to propel me to the next level. So not just one mentor, but just different people on my road. But that's why I'm very conscious in my life when people come to me and ask me for help. I'm
Mhm.
always praying for the wisdom. Like, God, is this someone that you sent me? Or is this someone that's trying to use me? Because I've been used a lot in my life because I'm
Yep.
very giving. I'm a very giving person. And sometimes people pretend to want your help, then you give them help and they take it and they go away. So I'm like, God, give me the wisdom of King Solomon. Should I help this person? Am I that person in their life? How those people were the person in my life. So I try to mentor people how people have mentored me. So I would say in my life, I've had maybe like 4 or 5 mentors. And I'm pretty sure I will obtain even more mentors as I proceed to the next level. And
Mhm.
again, in return, I have mentored other people too, because as information is given to me, it's my duty to freely give information to others. So that's why I love doing podcasts like this to give back because it's my way to pass it on to the next generation, to other people. And when I say next generation, I'm not even talking about people younger than me. I'm talking about people trying to do the things that I'm doing. Whether
Yep.
you're older, the same age, younger, it doesn't matter. If you want the information, I'm trying to freely give it to you as well.
Absolutely. That is so highly appreciated. I mean, I appreciate that you in fact give back instead of just receiving and just, I'm good. I'm straight. Bye
Yeah.
everybody. Like I'm good. No, like you understand the rest. Let me just make sure I said the right way. Reciprocity.
Yeah.
I always get that word a little mixed up. But I appreciate that you in fact do that for others because people are always seeking. I mean, I will say that I had not identified my first mentor until I was 30. I'm 35 now. Until last year, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
I actually like met my first person. I had went through a really significant hardship at a job. I had so many things in fact happen, and I didn't know where to turn.
Hmm.
Because in that situation I was in, I felt very isolated, which was the point.
Yes.
But I was able, God did that. Like it was a chance encounter of me knowing someone and that person knowing who I was and knowing me every single day and seeing a change in me that brought
Hmm.
me to know the person that's also her mentor. And
Wow.
when I tell you it's opened up so many doors, and helped me to, because I've never been not confident, but it just reaffirmed my confidence in like who I was, what I do, and things as such. And
Hmm.
sometimes you just need that. I call it that pick me up, that someone's like, I see you. Don't
Yeah.
let nobody tear you down. And
Hmm.
especially if it's from someone who is may run into being hue privileged.
Okay.
Block
Yes.
that.
Clock it.
So, So you wear so many hats. As
Yeah.
I said, of course, in your intro, you are an author, an educator, entrepreneur, real estate entrepreneur. Like you do so much. How do you balance all these hats? How do you do this?
Woo! I know. You know what? I'm not gonna say it's easy because it's not easy. Because you know what? A lot of people in my different lanes don't even know I do everything. They don't.
Oh, wow.
Mm-mm. Yeah, because some of my lanes, they don't cross.
Okay.
I keep some of the lanes separate.
Hmm.
Some people only know me as an educator.
Okay.
Some people only know me as a realtor. Some
Okay.
people only know me as an entertainer. Some people do know the crisscross of lanes. And I'm going to tell you why. This is an old saying. I don't know if you know this or your viewers know.
Right hand, left hand.
Don't let the
No.
right hand know what the left hand is doing.
I knew it. I was like, right hand, left hand.
I know I like you. You
Different
know.
states, but we still grow up on the same, yeah, same principles, same
See?
principles.
Yep, you know. Because you can't. You
Mm-hmm.
can't. Jealousy is real. It is real. Envy is real. It's spirits out here.
Mm-hmm.
Look, spiritual warfare is real.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot let everybody know. I know social media. If people want to know things about you, they want to let them find it. You don't have to go tell everybody your business. You don't have to let
Mm-hmm.
everybody know your business. I've had, just like the man Googled me, I didn't tell him that stuff. He was jealous. He went and Googled and found out. People want to find out stuff about you, let them find out. But I'm not going to go leading. Hey guys, you know I do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to do that. It's on a need to know basis. Now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
praying to God that everybody watch your podcast and you up there with Oprah, then they'll know. Yes, to my
So
mouth to
let's
God's
put that
ears.
two people in agreement.
Yes, it's done. It's done. Then they would know. But as far as me just telling everyone, like in my education field, hey
Mm-hmm.
guys, I do this. No, because it's jealousy. These
Mm-hmm.
people are already jealous anyway, because I won't say, people always say I walk around as if I'm better. No, I don't walk around as if I'm better. I know who I am, and it's no question about who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
if you feel that I'm better, that's probably because you feel that you're less. Okay?
And
Because
that's not your fault.
that's not my fault. That's a personal problem with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not gonna dim my life or my light to make you feel better about
Mm-hmm.
yourself. That's what you got going on. So
Mm-hmm.
I keep my lanes separate. If I'm working in education, I'm working in education. I'm focused on education. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm working in real estate, that's what my hat is doing right now. If I'm working in entertainment, that's what I'm doing right now. Now, if I'm doing a project that needs to incorporate all of those aspects, then that's what I'm doing. But in general, they're separate entities because I
Mm-hmm.
own businesses. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't commingle my businesses together, just like I don't commingle my money together.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I have a business that's incorporating all of them, I keep them separate.
Yes, I appreciate that because I myself, I'm human, and I feel
Mhm.
like in my past I have made mistakes just as others have in regards to thinking that everybody wants the best thing for you. So as you're saying, oh, the Lord is blessing me with this, you is so telling that right hand what that left hand is doing, like and you just
Mhm.
sometimes don't realize that that's what you're doing. But
Yep.
I realize like I have, God has given me grace and favor that when I stopped doing that and I went silent
Mhm.
and I just
Yeah.
started just doing what I needed to do and doing what makes me happy and not and being unapologetic about it.
Mhm.
The Lord has just had me in so many different spaces and of just pure bliss.
Yes.
Like just pure. I mean, even from as you remember the first time we talked, I was like, "You want to come on my channel?"
Yeah.
And it's like this was my painful channel. This was my space for healing and stuff. And look, Lord, look at the breakthrough you're doing, Jesus. But
Yeah.
I think I truly align and connect with that all the way. Trust me, all the
Mhm.
way.
Yep.
So I know earlier you were talking about that you've taught across different countries, like of course here, in China, and India, you've been in different spaces. So how has teaching globally like influenced your approach to education and empowerment? And I'm going to expand that a little bit. What are the differences that you see?
Okay. Some of the similarities, I'll start with that.
Okay.
Similarities, children are just children. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be loved. They want to be taught. They want to learn. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they're gonna have their little, nuances and little, behavior quirks, but they're just children. That's
Mm-hmm.
really the similarities of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the culture different because I teach children. Some of the children I teach have like dyslexia or other learning disabilities. Now those are like different things that you have to deal with that. But as far as the foundation of children, they're just children. Some of the differences will go into the cultural differences of how parents raise their kids.
Mm-hmm.
I have definitely learned, especially with our Asian children, their parents value education. They value education above anything, above any extracurricular activity,
Mm-hmm.
above sleep, above anything. When I tell you these kids are studying almost 24 hours a day. You know how like we value extracurricular and a whole
Mm-hmm.
totality of the child. Like that child needs to be in basketball, that child needs to learn an instrument, that child needs to do some da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
No, they value education and language. They want
Mm-hmm.
their child to know English, their native tongue, and probably two other languages before the age of 5.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky if our children even know English by the age of 7. And when I say English, I'm talking about proper English by the age of 7. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've taught kids at 9 years old that's still learning noun, verb, agreements at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm teaching Asian students that are speaking Russian, Mandarin, English, and French at 5. So it's a big difference on what we value here in the States and
Mm-hmm.
what parents value in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely noticed that. Now, I won't say which is better or which is worse because a lot of the kids in Asia, a lot of them have battled with, I would say, emotional issues because
Mm-hmm.
they are suffering when it comes to socializing.
Yep.
They're suffering because they have no outlet. That's all they do know is studying. They don't have a childhood. And I feel really bad when it comes to that. But then I
Mm-hmm.
feel really bad when it comes to our students as well because they're lacking when it comes to test scores. They're lacking when it comes to like language and being competitive on a worldwide scale. So it needs to be a happy medium in between because
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it on both. Like I love a lot of things that we do in the States and I love a lot of things that they do over here. If we
Mm-hmm.
can find some type of medium in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
meeting of the minds. What that is, I don't know, but it needs to be something.
That's interesting you say that because I don't think it's our like core standards and things and such that we have in place at the schools. So my experience, of course, falls under early childhood education, and we've gone through different types of curriculum. Like I've had experience with different types of curriculum. For example, like teaching strategies that I think they call it smart teach now, but like they have the different developmental domain areas. They have it in regards to social emotional literacy, language, cognitive, large motor, gross motor, gross motor, fine motor, and things as such, but it's so superficial.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't get to the core crux of who that child is, which I learned when I went to Erickson, which is the funds of knowledge, which is what are those cultural attributes that's at home and how can it be represented within the classroom. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen more I've seen more of an upward tick in regards to children's outcomes and things as such when there is that like human centered home being fostered into the classroom approach.
Okay.
I'm thinking in regards to like children out in, for example, in China and or in different countries that focus more on education. Um, I kind of think about can they miss something that they've never had to a certain extent? So, like, if this child is always from when they're born set in regards to this trajectory, in regards to, I'm assuming, to get a good job, of course,
Mm-hmm.
to be in alignment with what you need to have a higher paying job,
Mm-hmm.
because ideally they want them to have a better life and they don't see being a musician, potentially being, I mean, a teacher can be tied into that, but they don't see different hobbies, right?
Mm-hmm.
As something that's going to yield that family name, or something to that extent. And so I
Mm-hmm.
just find that really, really, really interesting, because I myself, I don't have children yet. I do plan to in the future, but I just being transparent, I also want to find that balance, but I am very
Mm-hmm.
much on that education piece, because
Mm-hmm.
especially the way our world and the trajectory of our world is going, I want my child to be an entrepreneur, and like I
Mm-hmm.
want my child to be an entrepreneur about 14 years old, have their own business.
I
I
understand.
am, that is what I am looking forward to, for
Yeah.
my child to be able to continue my legacy line of, hey, my mom had 2 masters, and look, now I got my own business and stuff because she
Mm-hmm.
set this up. And that's why I want that line to go.
Yeah.
But I also do understand the importance of social emotional, the
Mm-hmm.
importance of the connection, and what can happen when that baby doesn't have it. I've seen it so often in regards to
Yeah.
behavioral concerns and things as such. So it's just really, really, really interesting that out in places such as China, things such that education is so core. You said by 5, they know 3
Five.
languages. I didn't start
Girl.
high, like learning in Spanish to a certain extent, dabbling. Let's do that in Spanish. So I was like a freshman in high school.
Me too.
Like,
Yes.
and I know some of it only because of proximity to people who were
Mm-hmm.
in fact Hispanic and stuff, but it's very much like if you don't use it, you lose
You lose it.
it.
Yes.
You lose. I
Yes.
used to be able to speak quite a bit of German. I could speak Spanish almost fluently because I had quite a few Hispanic friends, and I was around. I lived in a Hispanic, a densely Hispanic populated city
Mm.
for years. But
Okay.
now it's like I only got a little bit.
Yes.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
I can't speak it at all anymore. And I took it all throughout high school. Did I
Mhm.
take it in college? I think I took it, yeah, as an elective, maybe 2 years in college. I can't speak it at all. I don't know what
See,
happened. It's
that's
gone.
what happened. It just go. It just go.